But I see no reason for late-term abortions. If a person should know by then, after like 8 months, whether they going to want the child or not. But the first, what is it, 24 weeks or something? Sure, you have at it. Leave that option open, because you're never going to have a meeting in the minds with the pro-life, pro-choice group. It's never going to happen. They all want all or nothing, and I've said for the longest time is until they've changed that mentality, neither one gets anything. They need to come to a compromise, and I think that second semester is a legit compromise.
But no one is taking a baby once it's been delivered, and asking the mother,
"That's obscene.
You sure you want this? If not,
yeah,
then we'll suffocate it with this pillow right here. No issue.
I'll tell you what,
no trouble.
I tell you what, if they set that up for like additional 18 years, I might not have an issue with it.
I have a guest. We have a guest, by the way.
Flamio.
It's like, oh, honey, you almost made it to your 18th birthday. You're 17 and a half, but you know what? You keep talking back to me. You're done. Smother you with a pillow.
Yeah, we'll just keep bumping it up, and then maybe we'll get to the point where children can abort their parents. They're just inconvenient.
Might as well, right?
Let's kill them.
Sure.
Flamio.
Can you hear me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little static there. Are you by a fire? Oh, wait, there you go. It's cleared up. Nope, that's gone. Okay, try now.
How's this? Okay,
what you got for us?
What's up?
Pretty much with the black hole thing, I agree that the observations exist. Gravity absolutely exists. Earth is a ball in space, yes. The only thing is just the conclusions. I need to see a little bit more evidence before I can agree with some of the conclusions they make, because
evidence of what, though? I mean, what? Okay, let's kind of run through this. What causes a perturbation in space? What will cause a change of movement of something? What will cause a force upon something to cause a change of vector? What do we know about
energy?
About
energy would have to be applied to an object.
Okay,
energy.
You need some kind of force, or and gravity would be a non-inertial force in relativistic space, but you need something acting upon it, right? You agree with that?
Of course. Yes.
Okay. So what do we know that can act upon something that has mass or energy? I mean, like in theory, you can actually have a black hole comprised of light. Believe it or not, I know that sounds
in theory, but
get enough light in an area to form a black hole.
Yeah, but it hasn't been done yet.
Well, in theory,
they haven't made one. They haven't made a current blitz or whatever it's called.
Current blitz. Is that what it's pronounced?
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, those are it would need a lot of light to do that.
And the sun.
By the way,
I don't think it has enough light, so I don't know how much. Someone's done the math on it, but they haven't made one yet, and I'm not. Maybe they can't. It's possible to make one. I'm not convinced yet. So.
Okay.
Plus, they say that they can lose.
But again, what else object could be there? I mean, you admit something has to be there, right? Something has to be influencing.
Something has to be
okay. Something. So let's go like this. So something has to be there. Okay. It's dark. There's no light coming from it, right?
No, there's light coming from it. That's how we find them. Not. We see the light coming from them.
No, there's no light coming from a black hole. Light can't escape from a black hole.
Light.
We don't actually see the black
hole, but telescopes look for light. The pictures of black hole that aren't all the artists' interpretations are all very bright spots.
Yeah, we've never actually visually seen the event horizon of a black hole. They've imaged one.
We haven't seen the event horizon. We saw the black holes that are the real pictures, not the artists' drawings.
We've never visually seen a black hole. No, I think you're kind of confused here. We've actually taken.
I have a screen. I have an image.
Listen. We've actually taken the image of an event horizon of a black hole. However, it has not fully processed yet. It's supposed to have been done sometime last year, but it didn't. So much data they're going through, and it has to look like a certain model that we're expecting to know that it is the correct imagery that we're getting out of it, because of the way that the event horizon goes around and warped. What we would see. Remember the movie Interstellar? That's something what we would expect to see for a non-rotating black hole. So we know what models look like. However, we never see the light coming from a black hole. What we see is X-rays that are produced from outside of the event horizon, from very hot gas that's swirling around it. They'll eject these jets, these X-rays.
So we need to wait for that to process. Then we need to wait for those images to process, so we can see that infinite space-time curvature we're expecting.
No, we already know that. We're not we know that works. Gravity works. Gravity warps space-time.
Gravity warps space-time. Yes. I agree. Gravity warps space-time, but can gravity turn a three-dimensional object into a one-dimensional object or zero-dimensional object?
Well, that's just mathematics. You're just dealing with mathematics at that point. When you look at the math, you're looking at a zero-dimensional object because that's just how it goes to this infinitesimal singularity. And concepts of infinity are very, very difficult to wrap your head around. But that's more of a mathematical thing. I don't even know if there actually is a real singularity. A lot of astrophysicists have been questioning, is there actually such a thing? Back in my day when I was reading Paul Davies back in the 80s, he was suggesting that because of there's three things you have a black hole. You have angular momentum, you have mass, and you have angular momentum, mass, and spin. Well, that's your angular momentum.
Yeah.
Charge.
No.
So you have charge,
charge.
So that's no hair theorem. So you have charge, angular momentum, and mass. When you have a spinning black hole that has these conditions, I believe it's called a Kerr-Newman black hole, as opposed to a Schwarzschild black hole, which is non-rotational. The singularity can actually form a toroidal shape, and it become a toroid rather than a single point. And he was suggesting there might be ways of going through that into another universe, right, exiting through a white hole. That's now been kind of debunked. Mathematically, it'll still be of a toroidal, from what I understand, but anything going through it will collapse it down. These bridges called EPR bridges will exist between two black holes, such that you have literally like a bridge between one black hole and another, but they're so small and so unstable that even a photon going from one to the other would actually cause decoherence. Again, I'm going back a lot of years on this. If you want to know the details, get in touch with Dr. Kroon. He's an astrophysicist. He's going to give you far more information on this than I could ever do. But I can definitely tell you that black holes do exist. What they are, sure, we may be way off on it, but the math works. You have to have a certain amount of mass in a certain amount of confined space, and that math works perfectly. If we said this is what we need, we know the mass of the star.
Except for the singularities in it. Those are holes in the model. So that the part where the singularities in the math, that doesn't work by definition.
Well, I mean, are you familiar with the math?
You know, I read over it. I only done like one practice problem. It's kind of difficult because you have to do the math over like an array things. It's really difficult. I read papers on the math.
Yeah, even I don't know that level of math. I just know what it looks like. I'm familiar with a little bit of math, but even that math is very, very complicated stuff. I'm not going to say
Steve,
that.
I can help you out. What you got?
Well, I mean, it deals with it's called limits. Do you know what a limit is?
Yeah, limit is pretty much a place in the function where you can't.
Kyle doesn't have
the function where you can't hit the point. You can't hit the point at the limit.
Yeah,
so
it's approaching something.
We go as close as possible. You get, but never reaches there.
Right, but we still, when you take a limit of something, you do actually take like, for example, if you take the summation of 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/16 or 1 to the 2 to the n, that summation is going to equal to 1. So even though if you take the limit, you do eventually quote get there. It's just that you're doing it as an infinite series, and that resolves Zeno's paradox. Because the story with the archer, if you take a bow and arrow, and you shoot something at a specific amount of time t, you're going to be that, like let's say 100 feet from the target. In a certain amount of time, you're going to be 50 feet, then 25 feet, then 12.5 feet, et cetera, et cetera. So if you keep on figuring that way, then you're never going to actually reach the target, because you're always going to be doing halves, and you're never going to actually get there. That was called Zeno's paradox. That's been resolved by calculus.
Yeah, it's been resolved by calculus because that will factor in the time. It also gets cut in half the same way. So no travel means no time. So
I'm not quite sure about what you mean by that, but yeah, what it is, this is called infinite. It's called an infinite summation. That's all. You're just doing an infinite summation.
Yeah, you're doing it for summation, and it just works just fine. You don't have to worry
But
about.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this real quick. If anybody wants to challenge me on 0.99 repeating equals 1, I'm game. But I don't want to pose.
I'm not going to challenge you. It's the same thing.
Daryl.
It's literally the same exact thing.
Daryl Frost.
Yeah, it is. But I'm
just
just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you take
I'm
the
just throwing
decimal
that out.
expansion of the third. You add it together. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Here's another question while we wait for Daryl. Aqua Groundhog says, this thing called...
Oh, you lost your mic again. Wait, Mike, no. Wait. Look, Kyle, look at me. Focus, Kyle. No. I like the sign language there.
I forgot you're in different places. That software is cool. I forgot you have green screens in your different places.
He keeps losing his connection, mic connection, so he doesn't realize that nobody's hearing him. So, but I was just throwing that out there that it's one subject I actually really like is that 0.99 repeating equals 1.
You know what?
And I have there we go.
It's every time that I go to ask a question. You notice that? I mean, I'm literally
shut you
down. But he says
Kyle.
This thing called a Ascara's wheel is an attempt to make unlimited power. Could this work in space? Single gravity is not as powerful.
He's talking about an over-unity device. An over-unity device is you have more energy put into it than you get out. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. That's pretty well.
You might go get the second law. No,
you can't violate the second law.
Yeah, it's not possible.
I mean, they won't even issue patents for even people pretending that you can make these types of over-unity devices. It's just complete bogus bullshit.
Yeah. Show me the model, guys.
How high can Steve do pi now? No, I'm still at the same thing. 3.14159265358979232. Yeah, I'm still at the same thing. I'll never forget it. That part of it.
Daryl, we sent you a link. Don't scare out on us now.
Oh, he did. He just
I got on. I'm fine.
He doesn't want to come on until he's more prepared with more time. It's a technical subject, needs time and diagram.
Oh, for God's sake! I was prepared for this. Wait a minute! I didn't expect to be talking about.
How are you gonna be somebody that's gonna say we're completely wrong on the way that we feel about gravity, and then when told to come on here, we're not prepared either. But when told to come on here, you say, "Oh, I can't be. I have to be prepared for that." So obviously, you're not confident in your stance. Otherwise,
I could maybe make mistakes. Here's the thing, though. We know a lot of smart people. We have a lot of astrophysicists that we do know. John Kroon is a friend. We're going to be doing some more stuff on my channel. Dr. Hugh Ross is an astrophysicist. Sarah Silvestro is an astrophysicist. We know a lot. People out there know these subjects, and they may say, hey, you know what? Steve had made a minor error here. Steve had a little minor error here, and that's totally cool. That's how I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. I can fix that shit. But I got to tell you, I'm going back like 20 plus 30 years since I read a book on black holes for the most part, right? So, I'll look at stuff up.
I read a book. Often. Period.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not prepared for this. Kyle's never prepared. So, why? I don't understand this excuse. I'm just amazed. What does he want to do? Come in with a full presentation? That's fine. But if that's the case, then we'll get an astrophysicist for you to go against. I'm not an astrophysicist. I just happen to have an interest in black holes.
Until then, you should not. If you're not going to come on, you should not lay these accusations down or
right.
Go to like you're challenging us. If you're just going to puss out and not come on and defend it, like don't make those statements until you're ready to defend what you're saying. Oh, I need time to get graphs and just lines on paper. It's just lines on paper. All you're going to do is just show us lines on paper. It's SpongeBob stuff.
Scribble, scrabble.
Stephen Kyle does too much teeth. There's a fine. Don't worry. Don't be a wuss. Come on.
Manifold says, Steve, do you know that Hugh Ross doesn't believe in evolution? That's not true. I know Hugh Ross's thing on this because I have his books. He's even sent me one directly, and I know him. He believes in evolution, but he believes evolution up to a point. He doesn't believe in human evolution. He believes in special creation. Right, so everything else works. He agrees with everything else, but he thinks that humans had a special instantiation of a soul at some certain time that he's calling Adam and Eve. Yeah, I don't think that it makes sense. I don't see how you even falsify